Yo, what it do? Y'all already know what it is. I am that boy Box. This is Rough House Boxing TV. Hey, appreciate y'all for stopping back by the house, man, chopping it up with us. Well, we are on the eve of the Gervanta Davis, Hugo Ruiz fight, which is going down tomorrow night. Um, First time seeing Tank back in the ring. Uh, I want to say since Pedraza, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on. Let me check. Let me fact check that, man. Make sure I'm all right. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? No, that is not right. Oh, he's actually been okay since Pedraza. He's fought Liam Walsh, Francisco Fonseca, Jesus Marcelo Andras Cuellar. My Spanish is terrible, but anyway. So But hold on, let me see. His last fight was April of 2018. So, not about 10 months. Yeah, about 10 months. So not a lot of activity. So, a lot of us are, kind of anxious to see how Tank is going to look. As we all know, this fight was originally supposed to be Tank versus Abner Mares. Abner Mares pulled out due to a dislocated retina in his elbow that infected his wrist or something like that. But it's not clear exactly what it is. It started out as one thing and morphed into two other things. But yeah, that's what it is, man. But yeah, so we got Gervonta Davis versus Hugo Ruiz. Hugo Ruiz fought on the Pacquiao Broner undercard, or it was either that or the Thurman undercard. But he's fought recently, so you know that's a double-edged sword. I mean, his last fight it wasn't exactly like a cakewalk where he knocked the guy out in the first round and didn't take any type of damage at all. So we'll see how that works. On one side, he's still kind of sharp from still in shape from his last fight. On the other side, he had a fight that went I want to say it went the distance, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, I could tell you here in just a second. Uh, yeah, it went the distance. Unanimous decision versus Alberto Guevara. But yeah, and that was on January 19th. So yeah, just a couple weeks ago. All right. So yeah, this is the breakdown for Tank versus Hugo Ruiz. And before I get started, man, I got to give a big shout out and salute, to the whole BLOCKFAM over there. That's MARLO'S Corner with the homie Trey X, ELPHINICHI, legendary TOPCATZ, main boxing biker, REYNA. You know what I'm saying? Everybody that rock with us over there on the corner. You know what I'm saying? You know who you are. Salute. Hey, shout out to everybody in the greater fighting community. You know what I'm saying? And, you know what I'm saying? Hey, salute to the LDBC, man. Yeah, as always, I got my notes. So, we're going to go ahead and get into the good, the bad, and the ugly, man. And we will start with Tank Davis. Gervonta Tank Davis comes in with a record of 20 wins, no losses, no draws, 19 KOs. Tank been putting him to sleep. He stands 5 feet 5.5 inches tall with a 67.5 inch reach, and he is a southpaw. All right, the good. Heavy-handed boxer puncher. Very quick hands. Very good counter puncher. Tank's displayed different variations of counter game. I've seen slip and counter. I've seen catch and shoot. I've seen I've even seen some pull counter, in his game. So he's got a nice variety of ways to counter his opponent, and that's gonna come in handy in this fight. It's got a thunderous left hand, whether it's a straight or a hook. That left hand will make him go night night. Transitions well from offense to defense, which kind of goes back to the fact that he's a good counterpuncher. Good counterpunchers are able to, initiate offense, get out of range, get in a good defensive posture, slip shots, and then come back again, with something of their own. Throws a variety of punches well, whether they're straights, they're hooks. The jab is a nice jab when he uses it. Uppercuts, everything. He's got a full arsenal. Looping shots, what I'm saying? Hey, keep an eye on those looping shots around the guard, man, of Hugo Ruiz. If Hugo goes into that high guard look. All right, he's an accurate puncher. Very good punch placement. Love his punch placement. Slick, elusive fighter. He is able to slip shots. He's a hard body puncher, and we've seen that in quite a few of his fights in the past. Fights well from range and an intermediate level. And that's crazy because he doesn't have the longest reach, but he does a good job of fighting from range. I guess I could say he fights good on the inside too, but I think he prefers to be from range or intermediate. That way he can get max torque on his shots. Even at the intermediate level, what I'm saying, when he's throwing those hooks to the body and uppercuts and things like that, he's given himself enough distance and range to get maximum torque and velocity on those shots. See, very athletic fighter. This displayed time and time again. Good quick feet, good foot movement. He is a finisher. He's got that killer instinct when the opponent is hurt. When he smells blood, he's going in like a shark, and he's going to do his best to take the opponent out. All right, on to the bad. Head has a tendency to get stationary sometimes. Weight discipline is a problem, and we saw for this fight, Tank came in at 130.2 pounds, and he had to go back and lose that 0.2, but he did do that. But yeah, weight discipline is a problem. We'll see how that affects him in this fight. But yeah, that's what it is. That's something that's kind of a stigma with Tank. Not the best inside game. I know I said he fights okay on the inside, but he doesn't consistently, in my opinion, from what I saw, fight a lot on the inside. When he does it, he can do it well. He's shown flashes of doing it well, but I think he could do it more consistently. That's just me. Let's see. Gives up hand speed for power sometimes. A lot of time he loads up on shots, which slows the shots down. It increases the power and the pop on the shots, but doesn't make them as quick. And if you get somebody who's got good quick twitch reflexes and they're an athletic fighter and they got good upper body, lateral movement or whatever, they're slick, then these punches can be telegraphed, and they can be timed, and they can be avoided and evaded. All right, leaves hands low defensively at times. Sometimes that's just to lull the opponent in, but I've seen evidence of him getting caught with shots because his hands were low, when he's in his defensive posture. So, we'll see if Ruiz is able to get something meaningful through while he's got his hands like that, because his hands will be like that during portions of this fight. Let's see. The Philly shell can get raggedy, and I've got Philly and then in parentheses taco shell. But yeah, the Philly shell can get raggedy sometimes. And while he's doing his best Floyd Mayweather impression, he gets touched up sometimes. Never seen him touched with anything that was just massively significant, but I have seen him take some flush shots while in that Philly shell and trying to be slick like that. Falls in love with the power punches sometimes. We just spoke about how he trades power for speed and loads up on a lot of shots. His primary mission is to hurt the opponent, to break them down, to get them out of there. And in the course of doing that and attempting to do that, I think he forgoes the jab and working off the jab a lot for the power shots, the hooks, the uppercuts. Sometimes wide, overhand shots, winging shots. But once again, we'll see. Misjudges range at times. I saw a few instances where he was thrown from too far away and left himself in the kill zone. A couple of opponents were able to touch him while he was in there, but he never really paid a heavy price for doing that. But you never know. Anything can happen in boxing, and all it takes is that one shot. All right, on to Hugo Ruiz. Hugo Ruiz comes in with a record of 39 wins, 4 losses, no draws, 33 KOs. He stands 5 feet 9 inches, 5 feet 9.5 inches tall, and has a 70.5 inch reach, and he is an orthodox fighter. On to the good. He's got a decent jab, and at times it's a snappy jab. He's got okay head movement at times, not so okay at others. He seems to like to want to press the opponent and bring the action to the opponent. Don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing going against Tank, but he would prefer to press the opponent. It's got a nice left hook, head and body wise. See, it's got nice lateral movement. Footwork okay. It's got nice combos, especially the short combos. The combos to the body were the ones that were impressive. He would do the 3-4, and then the 3-4, and then bring the 3 back to the head. I like that. Does nice body work. Not the most consistent body work, but when he does do it, he gets in some nice work on his opponents. It's got a nice 1-2. The 2, if it lands flush, it could be something that could get an opponent's respect. Nice counter straight right over a jab if the jab is lazy or hanging. I saw that a few times in the fights that I was watching of his. So that kind of stood out a little bit. I don't know I don't understand what I just wrote here. Shows good body at times. I think I meant shows good body attack at times, which we already spoke about that earlier. But yeah, at times he does show a good body attack, and it's just not consistent enough for me. But he's able to get body work in on his opponents. He has a 70.5 inch reach, so if he's able to get in and out on his opponents, he can get in, get good body shots, and get out. All right, on to the bad. He is hittable, very hittable. Normally retreats straight back from oncoming punches. Saw a lot of instances where he was fighting with like all of his weight on his front foot and his head, way out over his front foot, which makes you a closer target to the opponent, and it makes it harder for you to react to punches that are coming because they're up on you so quick. You're already in close. So yeah, he needs to be very, very aware of that going into this fight with Tank, because Tank has very good hand speed. Uh, Not a devastating puncher. I've got right here, he is coming up in weight for this fight. Now he's going to be the taller guy. He's going to have the longer reach, but Tank will mess around and come fight night and be big enough to fight at cruiserweight. So, we'll see how that goes. No evidence of a good back foot game. When he was moved backwards by his opponent, there wasn't a lot of offense coming while he was in back pedal mode, and there wasn't much threat of any offense coming while he was in back pedal mode. So yeah, that is what it is. Not much use of angles. Primarily straightforward and back fighter. Every now and then, I see him, use the angles and punch, around his opponent with the jab, especially shorter opponents. He was able to do that with. Hand speed is average. He is stiff. Not very athletic. He seems really rigid in his movement, and not a very fluid puncher or mover, in my opinion. He's susceptible to the looping right hand when he's jabbing, because time to time he tends to leave that jab out there longer than it should be out there, and he has been countered. The looping right hand seemed to be the one that would get him, most of the times. When he had that left hand jab out there and leaving it, that looping right hand will boop and catch him right in the temple area, on the side of the head or whatever. Let's see. A good jab will give him problems, and that's due to the lack of head movement most times. So if Tank is able to get a good jab going, that is going to be problems for Ruiz. Now, Ruiz has a 3-inch reach advantage, so we'll see if Tank is able to get his jab going. But yeah. Yeah, I said leaves jab hanging at times. Has been KO'd 3 times. So, can we classify him as chinny? Maybe. He's been put to bed 3 times. So, let's see. And doesn't fight well off the ropes. In the fight that he had against, I think his name was Solaris. Solaris was able to get him up against the ropes in the latter rounds of the fight, and when he got him up against the ropes, there was literally no offense coming from Ruiz. He just stayed there and weathered the storm. He looked for the exit when he could get it, but all of the offense was coming from the opponent when the opponent had him on the ropes. All right, that is the bad. Now on to keys to victory. We're gonna start with Tank. Tank has to make Ruiz miss and make him pay. Tank's counter game is solid. Tank's body punch, body work is solid, super solid. His power shots, super solid. We know he's a slick, elusive fighter. We already talked about that. That boy Tank has the capability to slip a lot of these shots that Ruiz is gonna try to throw at him, and then come back with some super duper oopa loops and hit him with them boop boop boops and them bing bing bings and all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it could be a long night if Tank is able to get that counter game going. What else? Tank has to make him respect his power, which I really don't think that's gonna be a problem, because Tank has power. You know what I'm saying? And most, all of his opponents, they give a degree of respect to that power during the course of the fight. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. Tank is going to make his power felt. He needs to break down that body. Ruiz is, I would consider Ruiz the more of the mover between these two, and I think especially if Tank is able to make him feel, you know what I'm saying, some shots, some good shots, he's gonna get on that bicycle. And if Tank is still able to get on him while he's on the bicycle, that bicycle gonna turn into a motorcycle, like Trey X will say, vroom vroom vroom. You know what I'm saying, all around the ring. So yeah, those body shots, you know, that'll eliminate a whole lot of that bicycle riding and, you know, tricycle riding and unicycle riding and all that riding. But yeah, all right, on to Ruiz. I believe he needs to punch quicker and straighter than Tank, because Tank is going to get into power shot mode. He's going to load up on shots, and a lot of time when those power shots are coming, those wide winging hooks that Tank, you know, can fall in love with in the course of a fight, straight shots right down the pipe can counteract that, can nullify that. He's got to use his reach and his height to his advantage. Like we said, Ruiz is gonna be the taller fighter. He's got Tank by 4 inches in height and 3 inches in reach. If he can use that to his advantage, we might see Tank go into a place where Tank's never been before. So, well, we'll see. He's got to get in and get out, you know, quickly, you know, without taking damage. He could box Tank from range if the jab is effective, if the long game is effective, and for some reason Tank's not able to get into him. But I've seen smaller people, shorter fighters, get into Ruiz's chest, and I think Tank should be able to do the same. But if he can get in and get out on Tank before Tank's able to you know, do any damage, once again, we might see Tank in a place that we've never seen him before. So, yeah, that's what I got for that. Now, drum roll. Tank is going to beat the brake fluid out of this boy. Hey, I got it 5 rounds, KO, flatline. This is a massive step up talent-wise for Hugo Ruiz. I don't think Hugo Ruiz has never faced anybody with the speed, athleticism, agility, footwork, punching accuracy, power, all rolled into one. Never, ever, ever. Tank has fought Hugo Ruiz's before. You know, his resume is built up on a grocery cart full of Hugo Ruiz's. This is not going to be anything different than what Tank has seen in the past. You know what I'm saying? Who out there believes Hugo Ruiz is a better fighter than Pedraza? I don't see any hands, because I sure don't. You know what I'm saying? Man, Tank is going to dismantle this boy. If it goes longer than 5 rounds, it's only so the crowd gets their money's worth. He's playing with his food. That's all. Tank's going to beat the breakfast out this nigga. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? By the end of that fight, we're going to see greens, beans, tomatoes, bacon, ham, greens, all that stuff is going to be in the ring. Tank going to beat it out of him. Real talk. Gervanta Tank Davis by KO, 5th round. And I may be being generous when I say 5th.